Hey, and welcome to the Drive and Dish podcast for December the 29th. We got our college basketball and NBA picks for the day with our man. Dynamite, David. You ready to get into some college basketball today?
Yeah, I've got some more dynamite picks. Hopefully today they don't blow up in my face like they did yesterday.
All right, so let's get into yesterday's game. We'll start with the Dynamite's picks. The only good thing about this was you could have packed it in early because I think all these games were pretty much over quite early. You had Fresno State plus the 9.5 versus Colorado State. That was a loser. Colorado plus the 3.5 versus Arizona was a loser. And Michigan State minus 2.5 versus Minnesota was a loser as well. So at 0-3, a tough day after a good solid week brings you to 18-23-1. I went 0-1. My UC Santa Barbara did not bounce back first their game versus Cal Irvine. Cal Irvine just too good. I went 0-1, which brings my record to 78-63-1 so far on the year. So let's move on to today. What do you got today?
Yeah, I'm taking quite a few picks today, hoping to make some moves, get back in the win column here. I've got 6 picks. Starting with a big matchup, I like Rutgers at home, minus 3.5 against Purdue. I've been on that Purdue train, and I'm hopping off, and I'm taking Rutgers. Purdue struggled on the road this year, and they're 1-4 in their last 5 against the spread against Rutgers. And I think Rutgers is going to bounce back tonight against their first loss against Ohio State.
Yeah, just so we're clear, I have Rutgers minus 3.5 as one of my 2 picks as well. Rutgers probably the best home team in the Big Ten. Purdue, a very poor road team. I think Rutgers defense will stranglehold them, and we get a big Rutgers win here today. So Rutgers also one of my picks as well.
Next up, I've got another big matchup. I like Northwestern at Iowa. They're getting 11.5 here. I think that's a lot of points against a really bad Iowa defense. They're one thing to watch for here, Iowa is 228th against the three-point in defense, and Northwestern shooting 42% behind the arc. So I think that's going to be the difference maker. And, Northwestern's got some big wins over Ohio State and Michigan State. So I think they go into Iowa and make this one at least close and definitely stay within the 11.5.
Yeah.
Next up, I like Mercer at home, minus 2.5 against a struggling Wofford team. The Terriers have been not great as of late, struggling to score the ball, averaging 56 or less in 2 of the last 3. And Mercer's scoring the ball pretty well, and they're the home team. So I like Mercer minus the 2.5.
All right. Well, now you've covered both my picks because I also have Mercer minus the 2.5. This will be a pretty fun game, I think. Mercer hasn't played a lot of competition, but have the shiny record. And Wofford has played a much tougher schedule. Easy for me to say, but is probably, I'd say, a little bit better team. But I think these two teams are really similar. So I'm giving Mercer the nod going into the game here at home. This will definitely be a good SoCon battle. You got them, UNC, Greensboro, and Furman all sort of in that mix to win the SoCon. So this will be a really interesting game, but I definitely like Mercer at home as well. So you've hit my 2 picks for the day. So this makes an uneventful Drive and Dish podcast on my college basketball side here. So what do you got next?
Well, I got 3 more, including another big matchup between Clemson and Florida State. I've got Clemson minus 1.5 at home here, and I think this Clemson team's a sneaky good team. They've only got 1 loss. They've got good wins against Purdue, Mississippi State, Alabama, and Maryland. And they're going to need to slow the game down and hopefully keep Florida State from running it up and down the court. But if they can keep this a defensive matchup, I think Clemson wins this game. Next up, I've got an SEC matchup. I've got Alabama at home versus Ole Miss, minus 1.5. Petty and Rojas sat out last game. For some unknown reason, the coach sat them out against ETSU, but they're both expected to play tonight. And I think Alabama's the better team here and covers the 1.5 at home. And then last up, I've got Kansas State at home, minus 9.5 versus Nebraska Omaha. I think Kansas State's trying to make up some ground for some ugly losses they had earlier in the season. I think they're a much better team here and should win by double digits.
Yeah, so you've got a full slate of games today.
6
I
and 0.
only had the 2. We already went over them. Rutgers minus the 3.5 at home versus Purdue. Mercer minus 2.5 at home versus Wofford. So those are my 2. We'll switch to my NBA picks for the day. Guess what? Yesterday I was not horrible in the NBA. An exciting 2-1, and we'll take it right now, as bad as I've been in the NBA. We had a win with the Denver Nuggets minus 6.5 versus Houston. The Detroit Pistons finally covered for me, plus the 10.5 versus the Atlanta Hawks. The Jazz, however, did not cover the 8.5 versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. So 2-1 on the day brings the wonderful record to 4-10 so far on the year. Today, we got the Toronto Raptors plus the 1.5 versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Think the Raptors will get off the schneid here and get their first win of the season. We're going to keep riding the Cleveland Cavaliers hot streak, minus 3.5 versus the New York Knicks. We'll see if Cleveland can keep up their good play with Garland and Sexton really playing good basketball right now. And last, we're going to go with the Boston Celtics plus 1.5 points versus the Indiana Pacers. These two just played. It was a 1-point game. So we look for Boston to bounce back and hopefully get that win as these two teams play back-to-back games. So that's my NBA picks for the day. Where can we find you, David?
Follow me on Twitter at GLN_D, and I'll share all my picks on there.
Yeah. All right. Be sure to follow us on greenlightnetwork.org, where you can find all our podcasts. Subscribe, like our Facebook page, Greenlight Network. That's our show, and we're out.